Besties, I listened to Marciano on the Simplistic Podcast, so you don't have to. Honestly, it was a very chaotic episode. There was a lot of interrupting. I put my thoughts together in a recap. Let's get through it all. This will be somewhat of a long video, so press 2x if you need to. Timeline that is important to note is that Secret Life of Mormon Wives Season 1 filmed at the beginning of 2024 and then finalized filming in spring of 2024, but did not air till September of 2024. Vanderpump Villa Season 2, where Mom Talk took the trip and did the crossover episode, did not film till the early summer of 2024. Did not premiere till April of 2025. So when Mom Talk went to Vanderpump Villa, the show had not aired yet. Secret Life of Mormon Wives had not aired yet. All right, let's get into it. First, start out by addressing the narrative that Marciano is a clout chaser, that he was only pursuing or wanting Demi and Jessi because he wanted the clout that came from them. He says he didn't even know who they were when they came into Vanderpump Villa. He says obviously his show had been doing well. The girls had not premiered their show yet. Essentially, they were benefiting more from coming on the show than they were from having them on the show. Marciano says he had very strong feelings for Demi immediately when he met her, that they had a good time while they were filming, that she wasn't drinking while she was in Vanderpump Villa, so he decided not to drink while she was there. Apparently on one of the nights they played Truth or Dare, touching his leg, acting inappropriate for a woman who is married, and then he was dared to kiss her. He asked her if he could kiss her on the cheek, and she said yes. He says everybody that was there can attest to this, that it definitely took place. Now, for those who do not know, during Vanderpump Villa Season 2, Marciano and his ex-girlfriend Hannah get fired off the show. So they don't stay the entire time of filming. So Marciano gets fired off of Vanderpump Villa. As soon as he gets his phone back, because mind you, they don't have their phone during the time that they're in the villa, Demi reaches out to him on Instagram. Host then asks him, how often do you think you guys were talking on the phone? Marciano says up to 10 times a day. Marciano says that he was well aware that Demi was married and is married, that he was living in the moment and felt like maybe her and Brett's relationship was on the rocks because they had a private conversation in the villa that we saw a couple of minutes of on Vanderpump Villa Season 2 that was actually 3 hours long, where she shared her issues in her marriage in general, also shared some things, and they ended up hugging and he kissed her head. Marciano says that he doesn't want to call what he had with Demi an emotional affair because he feels like what he had with Jessi was actually an emotional affair and it was very different. Marciano's brother is also on the podcast and shared that when Marciano got home from Vanderpump Villa, he would see him doing FaceTime calls with Demi, where sometimes Brett would be in the background, so he was very well aware that they were having these FaceTime calls. Like I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, the timeline of when Secret Life of Mormon Wives Season 1 premiered is very important. Vanderpump Villa has finished filming. Obviously, Marciano got fired in between the beginning and the end of the season. We're nearing the time where Secret Life of Mormon Wives Season 1 is going to air. At that time, because I guess the show wasn't that big, they didn't do like a whole premiere party. So they held a private party for Mom Talk. Apparently, Brett and Demi invited Marciano to this premiere party for him to stay the night in Utah at their house. Marciano's brother then chimes in and gives his perspective on things and says he feels like Demi was hurt that Marciano had an affair with Jessi and that she didn't want Brett to look like a cuck when the show aired, so she made up these allegations. And they talk about how when Demi and Marciano would be on FaceTime, I guess Marciano would be like, oh my God, I haven't eaten all day, like blah, blah, blah. And Brett offered to send him DoorDash. The host then gets a little messy and asks Marciano like who he prefers, like Jessi or Demi. And Marciano says 1,000% Jessi. He wishes he would have just gone for Jessi all along and never pursued Demi. Which is wild considering the fact that Jessi is married and was married when this took place. But anyways, let's keep going. He says that Jessi is very real and a kind person and he felt like he never questioned her motives. Marciano talks about how he got into reality TV. He says originally he wanted to be on Vanderpump Rules, but when that didn't happen, he saw the opportunity with Disney and Lisa Vanderpump and was like, okay, I want to go on Vanderpump Villa. He gets chosen, blah, 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 goes on the show. He says that he was not plotting on getting on Secret Life of Mormon Wives. It just kind of happened. Apparently, he told a friend who told Demi about what happened with Jessi. She called him, was like, hey, what is going on? Was prying him for information and was like, I'm not going to tell production. Gets off the phone, calls production and tells them that Marciano hooked up with Jessi. That's when production calls him and was like, hey, we heard blah, blah, blah. You should film. Marciano says that once Demi found out about Jessi, she completely flipped on him and wanted nothing to do with him. He then shares that all of the scenes that we saw in season 3, he thought were going to be in season 2 because that's how he was contracted to do the show. They were originally filmed for season 2, and he didn't know that there was going to be a cliffhanger of him telling Layla about his affair with Jessi, and then it was going to be put the rest into season 3. Then he talks about the sexual assault allegations that Demi has made against him. He says it's very hurtful that Demi is framing him as a predator, that she never brought up being sexually assaulted until Secret Life of Mormon Wives season 2 and Vanderpump Villa started airing around the same time. When it comes to the Hulu event that they were both invited to on their respective shows, apparently Hulu last minute let him know that he couldn't attend and that Demi was telling everybody at the party that he sexually assaulted her. That's when he posted this on social media that says, uninvited to the function because a 30-year-old Mormon wife's scared, I'll tell her husband the truth. Obviously, fan pages reposted what Marciano said, and Demi commented back. He commented it wasn't her fault that he got uninvited, it's because he's a sexual predator. Marciano then shares that him and his brother were dumbfounded when they saw her say this because that is absolutely not what happened. That sexual assault is extremely serious, and Demi throwing it around like that is disappointing and hurtful to real survivors. He also said it was very crazy that production didn't ask him to come back on the second half of The Secret Life of Mormon Wives season 3 to defend himself after Demi said all of these allegations. Apparently, production said that they were going to set up a last final scene between Marciano and Jessi, but they never got back to him. Marciano's brother says that they reached out to production to do one last sit down between Marciano and Brett, but they never got back to him. And lastly, they finalized it with saying that obviously this was a dream come true for Marciano to be on Vanderpump Villa, to be on a reality TV show, only for it to take a turn and be accused of these very big allegations by Demi. Lastly, I think this is the wildest part of the podcast, and I wanted to save it till the end because I was jaw to the floor when he said this. He says that he still has feelings for Jessi and at one point was in love with her and might still be in love with her. And if it wasn't for Jordan being in the picture, as her husband, he would want to try things out again. What did you guys think? Let me know your thoughts.